This modern cinematic website was built with Claude Fable 5, and instead of testing the model with a simple landing page, I wanted to give it a real production-style workflow. Generate the sneaker video, create product visuals, build the scroll-driven website, and refine the final UI with GSAP, Lenis, ScrollTrigger, and Three.js. As you already know, Fable 5 is back. After being temporarily unavailable, Anthropic restored access, and right now, paid users can test it under a limited promotional usage window until July 7th. After that, Fable 5 moves into credit-based usage, so this is the right moment to see what it can actually do when you give it a serious creative coding task. The website itself was built with Claude Fable 5, but the media used inside the site, the sneaker video, the product visuals, the card images, and the final presentation assets were generated with Higsfield. So this is not only a coding test, it is a full creative production workflow where the model has to work with generated media, organize it, and then turn it into a finished interactive website. For anyone who has not used Higsfield before, it is an AI creative platform for generating images, videos, product visuals, cinematic clips, marketing assets, and full campaign-style media. So instead of using one tool for images, another tool for video, and then manually moving everything into the project, Higsfield gives us a single place where we can create the visual assets needed for this kind of website. But in this workflow, I did not generate everything manually from the Higsfield website. I used Higgsfield MCP. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, and the simple way to think about it is this. It gives an AI model a controlled way to connect with external tools. Normally, Claude can write instructions, create prompts, plan a project, and explain what you should do next. But with MCP connected, Claude can actually use certain tools inside the workflow. In this case, it can communicate with Higsfield, request image or video generations, organize the results, save files into the project folders, and then use those assets while building the site. Inside Higsfield, we open the MCP and CLI section. This is where Higsfield shows the different ways we can connect the platform to external AI workflows. We can see options for Claude, ChatGPT, Cursor, OpenClaw, Hermes, and other agent-style workflows. So the idea is not limited to one assistant. Higsfield is basically giving different AI agents a way to access the same creative generation system. For this video, we are using Claude, and the setup is pretty simple. First, Higsfield gives us the MCP URL. We copy that URL, and then we open the Claude desktop app. Inside Claude, we click Customize, then go into Connectors. As you can see, I already have Higsfield connected here, but I'll still show the setup so the process is clear. From there, we click the plus button, choose Add Custom Connector, and enter a name for the connector. I'll just call it Higsfield because that keeps it clear inside the workflow. After that, we paste the MCP URL from Higsfield into the connector field and click Add. This is the step that tells Claude where the Higsfield MCP server is, so Claude knows which external tool it can connect to. After that, Claude asks us to connect and sign in with the Higsfield account. Once the authorization is complete, Higsfield becomes available directly inside Claude. From that point on, Claude can call Higsfield during the workflow instead of me manually generating every image and video from the web interface. To make sure the connection is actually working, we can do a quick test directly inside Claude Chat. I'll send a very simple message and ask Claude to check my Higsfield balance. If Claude returns the balance information, that means the Higsfield connector is active, and Claude can communicate with Higsfield through MCP. Before we start working on the actual website, I want to test the media generation workflow directly from Claude Chat. This is a simple way to see what the Higsfield MCP connection actually does in practice. For the test, I'll start with an image. This is the fastest way to confirm that Claude can understand the creative direction, call Higsfield through MCP, use the right image model, and return a generated result inside the workflow. Let's generate some random image with this prompt. Once I send this, Claude should call Higsfield through MCP and start the image generation process. If everything is connected correctly, I should see the generation run from inside Claude, and then I can review the result without manually switching between tools. And as you can see, the image was generated directly inside Claude Chat. So the same basic idea can be used for different types of media. We can generate product images, cinematic videos, campaign visuals, motion assets, and other creative materials directly from the conversation, depending on which Higgsfield tools are available through the connector. Now we can move into the actual website build. For this part, I'm going to use Claude Code with Fable 5, and I already have the main prompt prepared. A lot of people ask how I write prompts for these kinds of projects, and the honest answer is that I usually use AI to help me structure them. For this project, the prompt starts by defining the role clearly. I'm telling it to act like a creative developer, cinematic web designer, AI art director, and front-end animation specialist. This gives the model a clear direction from the beginning. The task is not only code, and it is not only design. It is a complete visual production workflow. Then the prompt defines the product reference and the asset workflow. The sneaker image is already inside the project folder, so Fable has to use that local file as the master reference. After that, the prompt explains that the media should be generated through Higgsfield MCP, including the C-Dance video and the GPT Image 2 visuals, and then saved into the correct folders so the website can use those files directly. The most important part of the prompt is the scroll-driven motion system. I'm very specific here because I don't want a normal autoplay background video. The video has to be fixed behind the page and controlled by scroll progress. So when I scroll down, the sneaker video moves forward, and when I scroll back up, the video reverses. This is what makes the final result feel more like an interactive product experience. The prompt also includes the design rules for the rest of the site, where product images are allowed, how the catalog cards should use 3D cutout effects, how the full-screen menu should behave, how the final CTA should look, and how the non-image sections should rely on typography, glass morphism, particles, and scroll reveals. For the front-end motion, the main technologies are GSAP, ScrollTrigger, Lenis, and Three.js. GSAP is the animation engine, so it gives us precise control over how text, panels, cards, and interface elements move on the page. ScrollTrigger is what connects those animations to the scroll position, so sections can reveal, pin, fade in, and react exactly when the user reaches them. Lenis is used for smooth scrolling, which makes the whole website feel more cinematic and controlled instead of jumpy or browser default. And Three.js is used for extra visual depth, like subtle particles, atmospheric movement, and background motion layers, so the site does not feel completely flat. Now inside Claude Code, I already have the project folder open. Before running the main prompt, I prepared a references folder, and inside that folder, I placed the product reference image. This is the image Claude will use as the visual anchor when it asks Higgsfield to generate the sneaker video. Once I run the prompt, Fable starts with the media workflow first. It will use Higgsfield through MCP to generate the main C-Dance video, then save that video into the project folder. At that point, the workflow stops because I want to review the video before it becomes part of the website. If the video looks good, I approve it, and then Fable can continue with the rest of the process. After that approval, it moves into generating the remaining assets, preparing the cutouts, building the website, adding the scroll-driven video system, and refining the final UI. As you can see, the video has now been generated, so let's open it and review the result. The result is actually quite good. The motion is smooth, the sneaker keeps its shape, and most importantly, I don't see any major visual glitches or broken details. Since the video is clean and usable, I'm going to approve it. After this confirmation, Fable can continue with the next phases, generating the remaining visuals, preparing the product cutouts, building the website structure, adding the scroll-controlled video system, and refining the final interface. The website build is now finished. As you can see, Claude Code already gives us a preview of the project, so we can quickly check the general layout and make sure the site is running. But for the final review, I want to open it directly in the browser, because that gives us a better feeling for the scroll, the motion, the menu, and the full page experience. For that, I'm going to use VS Code. For anyone who has not used it before, VS Code is a code editor where you can open a full project folder, inspect the files, edit the code, and run the project locally. In this case, I already have the website folder open there, so I can launch the local preview and test the final result in the browser. At first glance, the website already looks very beautiful and impressive. The first thing we see is the hero section, with a dark cinematic Nike Air Max 90 composition, large readable typography, and the sneaker video sitting behind the content as the main visual layer. As I scroll, the important part is that the video is not just playing automatically. The motion is tied to the scroll, so the sneaker movement follows the page progress. Then we move through the product story section, the product philosophy section, the colorway cards. Next, we have the motion/editorial section, and finally the CTA area. Besides that, we have the full screen menu, which also looks really polished. Instead of a basic navigation overlay, it uses large typography, a strong product preview, smooth hover states, and a more cinematic layout, so even the menu feels like part of the product experience. Overall, this is exactly the type of result I wanted from this test. Fable did not only generate a layout, it connected the generated media, built the scroll-driven structure, added interaction, organized the product sections, and turned the whole thing into a cinematic website experience. Fable 5 gives us the reasoning and creative direction, but Higsfield gives it the ability to actually generate the media. So instead of just planning a visual concept, the workflow can produce images, videos, product assets, and then use them inside a real project. Also, remember that Fable 5 is available under this limited promotional usage window until July 7th. After that, it moves into credit-based usage, so this is a good time to test it while access is still more flexible, and see how far you can push it in real creative workflows. If you want to try this setup yourself, check the Higgsfield link in the description. You can connect Higgsfield MCP to Claude, generate media directly from the chat, and use the same kind of workflow for websites, ads, product visuals, campaign assets, or other creative projects. That's it for this video. If you found it useful, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what kind of Fable 5 and Higgsfield workflow you want me to test next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.